this is Patrick, and in this video tutorial I want to explain how to use my Research Bureau Calculator Excel spreadsheet. Now, first things first, what do I intend with this kind of spreadsheet? It shall give you an overview if you want to simulate the resetting of a given tech tree line and maybe do multiple resets and maybe also with several different tech tree lines. So for example, if you not just do one tech line reset but multiple tech line resets, so that you have somehow a figure in mind how much XP and how much credits are involved. And furthermore, once you have obtained all these figures, that you can play around and see if it would be better for your current amount of free XP and credits in your bank to maybe research more with your free XP, skip over ships, skip over grinding processes, or if you actually buy ships and play them like it was intended initially by wargaming. To demonstrate, I can, for example, show you these are the British ships that I have. If I would reset my British destroyer tech line, all the highlighted ships from the Daring down to Weymouth and Tier 2, they would all get basically deleted here in my port. They would be sold for half the credit amount that they're worth, stock price, and also all the module upgrades that have been installed over the time on these ships, they also would get sold for money for 50% of the initial stock price, that is. And I then would just need to regrind the line either by free XPing through several ships or playing several ships or mixing it. And once I reach tier 5, I actually would have to buy the ship. I would play it, and then by either achieving a victory in a random game, in any game mode, or by achieving at least 300 base XP, I would get a certain amount of Research Bureau points that are connected to a tier 5 ship. And tier 6, tier 7, up to tier 10, this is the same. The amount of research points grow from ship to ship, and not from ship to ship, but over the amount of over these ships. For example, tier 5 and tier 6, you get 500 Research Bureau points, but tier 10, you get definitely higher. I think it's 8,200 or 8,400 or something like this. Research Bureau points. It's quite a number. So what can you do with these Research Bureau points? Yeah, well, you go into the armory, to the Research Bureau, and then you can buy, for example, ships or unique upgrades or flags. And let's say I want to obtain the Slava. The Slava has a price tag of 63,000 Research Bureau points. As you can see here, I already have 34,000. Now doing a reset, even if it is a double reset, would not give me enough Research Bureau points. So I have to at least put an additional reset in the tech line in order to obtain enough of these Research Bureau points to buy the Slava outright. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody knows this webpage. World of Warships fittingtool.com/research. What this webpage does, it can show you the minimum amount of free XP that is required for a full line regrind. So you research the ship and you research the mandatory module upgrade if there is one. Not every ship has a mandatory module upgrade. But what this page does not show you is the amount of credits that are involved buying ships, at least from tier 5 to tier 10, because you have to play them to get the maximum amount of Research Bureau points back. What this page also cannot simulate for you is if you want to add multiple resets together, maybe even between multiple lines, and use free XP on some of the ships and use normal grinding, normal playing on other ships to progress forward in the tech tree. Now, this is where the Research Bureau calculator comes into the game. First things first, I advise you to pay attention that anything that is orange, be it a yellow orange or a red orange, is restricted for entries. Because these cells, they contain formulas, as you see. And if you type in these cells and overwrite the formulas, basically the calculation process stops working correctly, obviously. If you have to make entries only in the light gray fields, only in the light gray cells, and they are all available via a drop-down menu. So when you don't see a drop-down menu, you don't have to do anything. All the light gray cells, they might require information for the formulas to work, and these information you will enter via a drop-down menu. So let's dive right in. First, I'm gonna choose my tech line, the tech line that I want to reset. In my case, in my example, it will be British destroyers. And you see, by choosing British destroyers, all the tiers, all the ship names, all the data of XP and credits involved show up just like it was magic. I can choose, for example, Japanese gunboats, or maybe I'm gonna choose US destroyers, and you see the values, they are different. The next thing what I need to choose, is it a double reset or is it a normal reset? Yes, and this time it would be a double reset, would give me 20,400 research points. The next step in the process is, do I sell my old ships? Normally, if you reset a line, as I said earlier, all the ships of the line, they get deleted from your port. They get sold for half their stock price. Obviously, you can't sell ships that you don't have. There are no refunds involved either. I can show you the British destroyers that I have. From tier 6, Icarus, to Jervis, Lightning, Jutland, and Daring. So in my example, none of the old ships would be sold, but the Icarus would, Jervis would, the Lightning, the Jutland, and the Daring. Now, because all of my British destroyers are fully upgraded, I also would sell both the mandatory module upgrades as well as the optional module upgrades. So, and the next question is, how do I want to progress with my reset? Do I just want spend free XP? And let's say yes, I'm gonna do it. So I free XP the Weymouth, I free XP her mandatory module upgrade, I free XP Medea, I spend free XP for her module upgrade as well, and I repeat the process on the Valkyrie, on the Wakeful, on the Acasta, and I continue free XPing all the way to the Daring. Why would I do this? Again, one line reset is not enough for me to buy the Slava. I would have to reset a second time anyway. There we are. So, I need to research Daring. Then I can reset the line again. By the way, you might have noticed that one column is empty here. And this is because some lines involve less ships to go from tier 2 up to tier 10. For example, if you want to research German battle cruisers, there is another tier 3 ship that you have to research first before you then finally can start with your tier 3 battle cruiser. And if you, for example, compare to the US heavy cruisers, well, they are pretty fast forward. That is even one ship less than on British destroyers that you need to research. And going back to the British destroyers. So this is the first line reset, the first iteration of the whole calculation. And you see here on the left side, it already adds up the amount of research bureau points that I get. It adds up the free XP that would be spent, the credit costs that would be spent, and if I get any refund from selling ships that I am already in possession in. And here on the left side, top left side of the spreadsheet, you find the same number again. That's the total amount. Okay, as I told you, I need a second reset. Well, I again choose the British destroyers. This time it is a normal reset. So I only obtain 10,200, but in my example this would be enough for me to obtain the Slava. And again, I use free XP. The difference this time is, in order to obtain my research bureau points, I have to play the ships anyway. This means I have to buy the ships. So my initial thought might be, again, this is hypothetical, it's just a simulation, that from tier 5 on, from tier 5 onwards up to tier 10, I'm gonna buy all ships and I'm gonna play them, and I grind it the hard way using economic boosters and the time of my life. So I'm not gonna research the mandatory upgrade of Acasta, I'm not gonna research Icarus with free XP and so on and so on. I don't need necessarily to fill all these fields with no. I'm demonstrating it so that you get an idea of how to manipulate, how to play around with these spreadsheets. So, do I buy the ship? Oh yes, I'm gonna buy Acasta, and I also buy all of her modules. Gonna buy the mandatory module as well as the optional module upgrades. And I repeat the same for the Jervis, for the Icarus, for the Lightning, And last but not least, I end up with the daring. So can I sell any old ships? No, because all the old ships that I initially had, they have been already sold in the first iteration. And this time, I can't sell them again. I buy them. So this is where we are. Nearly 800,000 free XP would be spent, and nearly 34 million credits would have to be spent. Well, let's say I also want to obtain a legendary upgrade from the armory. So I'm gonna do another reset. This is now the third consecutive line reset that I'm gonna do in this season. And again, I choose British destroyers. It would be a normal reset again, and fast forwarding, do the same again. From the Acasta onwards, I'm gonna play all the ships. So I buy the Acasta, buy all the models, Heroes, Jervis, Lightning, and last but not least Jutland and Daring. Because I have bought Acasta up to Daring in the second iteration, now they also would be sold, right? Everything they have installed. Because I bought the whole ship plus all the module upgrades. So this means that for 40,800 research bureau points, I would need to spend 821,000 free XP at a staggering amount of almost 67 million credits. Now this seems very expensive. Very expensive. Let's see if I can shave off some of the credits and maybe exchange credits for free XP. Shall we? So going back into the second iteration, I really don't need to buy the Daring. I only need to research it. And I'm gonna research it by playing the Jutland. This is the normal deal. So if I don't buy her at the third iteration, I don't sell her. How are we looking now? Still pay the same amount of free XP, but I already have less credits to pay for these 40,800 research bureau points. Now let's say I also don't want to buy the Jutland. Jutland is also a very expensive ship. Now if I don't buy the Jutland in the second run, this means I need to spend free XP on the Daring. This also means I need to spend free XP on Jutland's mandatory upgrade. Don't need to buy it, but I need to research it. And then the third, it means I'm no longer selling the Jutland. Nor do I sell any of her modules. How do I look? That looks fine. 1.1 million free XP to be spent, but only 48 million credits. This looks almost like I would do it. But let's say I might not be such a good player, especially at high tiers, and also playing ships over and over again might become a little bit boring. So let's say, as I need to play all the ships in the third iteration anyway, all the ships that give me research bureau points, that is from tier 5 up to tier 10, let's say in the second iteration I'm not free XPing to the low tiers. I really play them, but I use free XP on the high tiers instead. So what I'm gonna do is I don't use free XP for the Weymouth, nor do I use it on the Medea, nor do I use it on the Valkyrie or the Wakeful, and so on. No free XP in use. I only use free XP on Lightning's upgrade and on Jutland's upgrade and on Daring, which means I'm not gonna buy the Lightning as well. I'm not gonna buy her, but this now means I'm gonna need to buy all the lower tier ships, which might be okay. Why not? So, furthermore, I don't buy the mandatory modules. I think I can progress through the lines without really installing them. I have to research them, obviously, but I don't need to install them. And the same goes for the Acasta as well. And Icarus and Jervis. I will buy the hull upgrade module, and on the Jervis I also will buy the optional, I think Jervis's upgrade module is the, let's take a look, it's the gun control system. Yeah, it is. This is optional, so I'm gonna buy and I'm gonna research and install the gun control system on the Jervis. So what does this mean now on iteration 3? Again, I'm gonna free XP to all of this, but here now I have sold the Weymouth. Oh, pardon me. There, now she's sold. I have sold the Medea and the Valkyrie and the Wakeful. I also sold the Acasta, but not her modules because I didn't buy them. On the Icarus, I only sold the mandatory module. On the Jervis, I have to sell both the modules. But Lightning, as I haven't bought her in the last iteration, I can't sell her now. The rest basically stays the same. And this is now basically a tad more free XP to be spent. And I even make good on some of the credits, because with the Lightning, Jutland and the Daring not bought in the second iteration, I really spare a lot of credits. And 1.3 million free XP is quite a high number. It's maybe 100,000 free XP more than it was in the last example, but I also have about 6 to 7 million credits spare, which is worth something. That's not nothing. So you can simulate line resets up to 6 times. Why did I choose 6 times? Well, in case you don't have any research points at all, in order to buy the most expensive ship in the armory available as of this video, you need 6 resets. The first resets you get a double bonus, and then the 5 others you get a normal bonus, so that would end you up with north of 70,000 research bureau points, enough to buy the Ohio and the Slava. And obviously you can play around, you can choose different lines. For example, if you want to simulate how it would be from season to season. Oh, nah, my mouse is a little bit dodgy. Just play a line, reset it completely, always for the double bonus. You can simulate all of this 6 seasons in a row if you want. So this is the spreadsheet. I'm giving you a couple of disclaimers at the end. First off, if you are a clan player, you will get a discount on the credit costs for techline ships related to the expansion level of the clan shipyard. So a fully upgraded clan shipyard gives you a pretty good amount of discount on all techline ships. But this spreadsheet does not know if you are a clan player and how developed your shipyard is, so it operates with a stock price. Keep this in mind. If you are a clan player, you will probably spend way less. Second, if you are a clan player, you get a bonus on research bureau points earned. Also, this comes down to the expansion level of your research institute. Again, I'm operating with stock numbers here, so a line will be 10,200 research bureau points. Third, I know that in theory you don't have to obtain every research bureau point. Just as an example, let's say all you do is use free XP to grind one line over and over again. And you don't buy the ships, you just research it with free XP, and all you do is you play the tier 10 ship, and you totally skip on the tier 5, tier 6, tier 7, tier 8 and tier 9. Only the tier 10 ship. Which means with each reset you only need to buy the tier 10 ship, so you still earn a lot of research bureau points, but your costs or your amounts of credits spent are way less. Just in case you are a little bit low on credits and you just don't care about all these research bureau points. Maybe after 6 or 7 or maybe 10 resets you buy these ships and then you play it, and then you get all the research bureau points for every ship, for every reset at once. Yeah, I don't simulate this because this is a little bit too it goes too much into detail. The spreadsheet shall be easy to use, and this is already stretching it. Next thing, obviously you can play a number of games in a ship and grind a little bit up the way and then use free XP for the rest of the way, ship by ship. Again, I don't simulate this. You have to decide in this simulation if you either play 100% to the next level or use free XP 100% to the next level. Last thing, all the data that I obtained I took from the World of Warships wiki. So I took all the numbers that you see here, the research price, purchase price, the same for the modules. There might be errors. I am not sure. There might be an error in the wiki. Also, I might have simply made mistakes by typing all these data into my spreadsheet. And that's why I cannot give 100% guarantee that the numbers that show up in the end are all correct. Please understand this. I'm just a human. I might make mistakes. But if you stumble over a bug, just let me know and I try to fix it. And that's basically all. What you basically now can do is dive right into and simulate the hell out of a line reset in order for you to find the right balance between using free XP and using credits to gain a certain amount of Research Bureau points. So, thank you for listening. And this is me, Patrick, signing off. And I wish you a good day. Bye bye.